Hi everyone, and welcome to this meditation on who are you. In this meditation, we're going to work on realizing and living our full potential every day. Now, we're actually going to do a couple of things in this meditation, but before we dive into the meditation itself, I want you to go ahead and find whatever kind of position that you want to be in for the next 20 minutes or so. And if you're sitting, whether you're sitting in a chair or if you're sitting cross-legged, the most important thing is to just make sure that your back is upright and straight. And if you don't know why we ask you to do this, the reason for this is because sitting upright and straight allows the spine to be nice and long and open. And your spine is the energy channel in your body. And one of the goals of practicing meditation is to really just move energy throughout the body with your breath. And so that's why we ask for you to sit upright. If you have any problems sitting upright, that's all right too. You can lay down as long as you're laying flat and you've got that open spine and straight spine to allow that energy to flow. Now I want to go ahead and start by asking you to just close your eyes and to ask yourself, are you holding any tension anywhere in your body? Anywhere in your head? Maybe your eyebrows? Maybe in your jaw? Maybe in any of the small muscles in your face? Is the tongue sitting on the roof of your mouth? Are you carrying any tension anywhere else in your body? Maybe in your shoulders? Maybe in your stomach as you're trying to hold your position. And if you are carrying any tension anywhere in your body, this is your invitation to just let it go. Drop your shoulders, let the tongue fall from the roof of your mouth, unclench your jaw, and just find peace in this moment. And today we're going to do a guided meditation on your future potential and to really help you understand who you are in the world and, more importantly, who you want to be in the world. And as we start this, I want to first just ask you to take a couple of deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. So let's go ahead and start. In through the nose. And out through the mouth. And we're going to do that 2 more times. In through the nose. And out through the mouth. Last one, in through the nose. And out through the mouth. Now just continue breathing in whatever way is easiest for you. If you want to do it all in through and out through the nose, that's fine. If you want to do in through the nose, out through the mouth, that's fine too. And if you want to just do the mouth, that's fine as well. What's most important for us is to just notice how your body responds to the breath that you're choosing. And to take note of that as you're processing and breathing. So think about, are you breathing into your belly? All the way deep down to where your belly is moving in and out with your breaths? Or do you have more shallow breathing where you're breathing into your chest? And think about, how does your head feel as you're taking your breaths? How do your shoulders feel as you take your breaths? What kind of emotions are coming up for you? And how are you associating any physical pain or experiences that you're having in your body. Now, as we move into the visualization, I want to share how mindfulness can really help you to become the person that you want to be. And what I mean by this is, instead of looking at and responding to any stressors that you have in your life, any stressors that you have at work, the news, any responsibilities that you have, I want you to focus on, who do you want to be in the world? And whether that's today, tomorrow, next week, or next year, who is that person that you want to be? And I want you to picture them in your mind. Are you an advocate and an ally fighting daily for social justice and equity across the globe? Are you a leader in a large company and inspiring thousands of people through your influence and your expertise? Are you an entrepreneur trying to bring a thoughtful, creative, and sustainable mission to the world so that you can better tackle challenges of tomorrow? Whoever it is that you see, and however you see that person, try to fully embody that person. What are the thoughts and the behaviors and the actions that this person lives every single day? How do they manage stress or conflict? And what are the practices that they have embraced to show up every day as the person that they are? And I want you to continue to think about this person as we go throughout this meditation. And I'm sure that if you've been practicing meditation for a while, that you probably feel more and more comfortable and confident in your mindfulness practices. And you might already feel the potential of what mindfulness can do for you to help you become the person that you want to be. Maybe you already know that simply taking time every day to practice mindfulness can help reduce your stress. It can reduce any feelings of overwhelm or anxiety or tiredness, and can help you better respond to situations in the moment so that you can become the person that you want to be. And if you don't already know that, this is what we're going to explore as we continue to move on. Now, hopefully you're at a place in your mindfulness practices where you're able to take a step back in the moment and say, okay, I'm experiencing overwhelm, or I'm experiencing anxiety, or I am experiencing whatever emotion or feeling. And hopefully you're at a place where you can label that and you can say, I'm experiencing stress. I am experiencing overwhelm. And I know that I've got this, that I can do this, I'm capable, I'm strong, I am able, and I know that I can manage this. And if you're not there yet, this is the goal. So rather than saying something to yourself like, I'm stressed, or I feel like I'm in the middle of everything and I don't know where I'm at or what to do, we want you to recognize that wherever you're at is okay. These are just thoughts and they're just feelings. And for some of you that might sound a little weird or a little crazy. Hopefully not by now in your practice. But if you are thinking those things or experiencing those things, remind yourself that whatever situation that you're in is just a situation. And you have the potential and you have the power to respond in the way that is in alignment with the person that you want to be. You can actively choose the behaviors and the actions that are in alignment with this person every day. And if some of you are still thinking, yeah, well, that's a lot easier said than done, or maybe I don't know and understand your situation, of course, I don't know and I don't understand your situation. And no one is ever going to know and understand your situation or your circumstances or all of the background. But something that's really important to remember is that practicing mindfulness and taking the time to reflect on mindfully what is happening and how it's happening, and how you can choose to create meaningful change in that moment, is something that you can do anywhere and anytime. It just takes practice. And for people who are successful at what they do in the world, they recognize that on a daily basis, they have to master this habit. They recognize that it's lifelong and it's ever growing, and that it takes patience and practice. And it also takes consistency. You have to consistently remind yourself every day, and especially when you are lost in those moments or those situations. So remember to practice forgiveness with yourself and practice compassion. And recognize that even though you might not be showing up the way that you want to right now, that you always have the ability to make the next action and the next behavior more in alignment with the person that you want to be. And when we talk about practicing mindfulness, we're not just talking about doing better at work or feeling less stressed. We're actually talking about living on your own terms. We're talking about actively choosing how you wake up to the world and to the circumstances that you're in. And how do you present that person that you want to be, and that person that you want to live as? How do you present that person to the world every day? Because those actions and those behaviors that we present every day are who we are. And that is how people see you. So how do you want to present yourself? And so we're talking about enhancing your presence and your wisdom and your compassion in the moment. It's about your effect on the world inside of you and outside of you. And how do you do that every day to the best of your ability? How do you think about and reflect on the person that you want to be in the world, the person that you are being in the world? And how do you align the person that you're being in the world in this moment with that person that you want to be in the future? And every time you realize that you're distracted or you're not in alignment with that person that you want to be, just remember to come back to yourself and ask yourself, how do you want to be in this moment? And how does that align with the person that you want to be in the future? And if you're in that moment realizing, yep, I'm distracted, I need to recenter, just gently remind yourself that everyone gets distracted. It is human nature. What is most important for us is to acknowledge how we want to respond and how it aligns to who we want to be in the future. Now just take some time to acknowledge that, and take some time to practice that, so that you can actively shape that person that you want to be. Not only in your thoughts and in your consciousness, but so that you can actually rewire the brain itself. Because every time we practice a new behavior and every time we practice a new thought pattern, we are creating change in our mind. We are creating new neural pathways in our brain that helps us to reshape our future habits. So anytime you're experiencing stress or overwhelm or anxiety, anytime you're in an uncomfortable situation and you're thinking about maybe you want to get as far away from it as possible, just remind yourself that doing the hard work now is going to define the person that you become in the future. And remind yourself that yes, I'm having these feelings and I want to run away and I don't want to experience them right now. That's perfectly okay. And just because you're feeling those feelings does not mean that you have to act in accordance with those feelings. You can recognize those feelings in that moment, and you can name those feelings, and you can even name, I am feeling scared and I want to run away and I don't want to experience this. But you can also tell yourself in that same moment that even though I'm feeling this right now, I still have the opportunity to reframe my approach in this moment if I have the courage to step into it. And of course, this is actually much, much harder to do in practice. But this is the practice of mindfulness. Just recognizing in the moment of whatever situation that we're in, recognizing those thoughts and those feelings that go along with that, and reminding ourselves that if we have the courage to create change in this moment, then we can actively shape our future. And we can actively shape the way that people see us in the moment. So anyone who's actively practiced mindfulness with consistency will tell you that the power that it has on the ability to notice their thoughts and their emotions and their reactions and how it has helped them to specifically create change in the moment is the practice of mindfulness. You can learn to recognize your thoughts and your emotions and, more importantly, your reactions in the moment. And you can learn to create patterns in your habits that allow you to reflect in the moment on who you are, who you're being, and how you want to shift to create that person that you want to be. And I also want to take a moment here to acknowledge that you cannot stop things like anxiety or overwhelm or stress. These things are always going to exist in the world. But what you can do is develop a different relationship to those feelings, where you can eventually feel at ease with it and potentially even start to embrace it in a way that helps you to understand the complexities of the situation and helps you define how you want to respond so that you can respond in the way that you want to respond. So as you move throughout your day today and this coming week, just remember that the idea of being aware, of just practicing awareness, practicing what are the sensations that are happening in your body as you're experiencing any of these unwanted feelings or emotions, thinking about what are the thoughts that come to your mind, what are the emotions that are related to that, and to just practice exploring that. Say to yourself, yes, these thoughts and these feelings or these emotions are here. And then remind yourself, the person that I want to be is. And whoever that person is that you want to be, let that statement define how you respond to that situation in that moment. And if you can't do it in the moment, at least try as soon as possible after that moment to practice that behavior that you want for your statement of who you want to be. And definitely remember that it's an amazing thing to actually be present in the moment, to be able to recognize and respond in the moment, because it is an incredibly difficult thing to do. And so give yourself patience and celebrate when you are able to do that, because again, it is not easy. And remind yourself that this is actually how you have to break those negative feedback loops and those negative patterns that you have between your brain and your body. You have to practice. You have to acknowledge those thoughts and those feelings and how they're impacting you. And then from there, you have to step out of that loop. You have to prevent your body from physically responding, or prevent your behaviors and your actions from manifesting based on those thoughts. And when you're able to step out of that loop and recognize what is fueling those emotions behind the stress and the overwhelm, and you're able to actually be present with your body and see how your body is responding, that is where your power lies. That is where you get to define who you want to be in the world. And not just who you want to be in the world, but who you are in the world. Who you are being in the world right now. And realigning if it's not in alignment with the person that you want to be. So as we close out, just remember that if you're experiencing any stress or overwhelm or anxiety, know that it might be uncomfortable in that moment, and you might want to get away from it, and that's understandable. But the important thing is to acknowledge that you have the ability to stop those negative thinking patterns, those negative loops, and you have the ability to prevent any negative behaviors or actions that you don't want to have happen, just by acknowledging and reminding yourself in the moment, who do you want to be? And how do you want to be in the world? And then taking action towards that. Again, it's about redefining that relationship to whatever it is that you're experiencing, so that you can, with ease, define who you are and how you are in the world. And as you move throughout your day or your week, just remember to be aware, to practice acknowledging those feelings and those emotions. And as much as possible, practice talking to yourself about those emotions or those feelings that you're having. And reminding yourself that the person that you want to be is there. And as much as possible, practice telling yourself, this is the person that you're going to choose to be right now, in this moment. And remind yourself of exactly what that person would do. What are the specific behaviors? What are the specific actions that that person would take? And then choose to take that behavior or that action in that moment. Thank Thank you so much, beautiful souls, for joining me, and best of luck on your journey in becoming the person that you want to be in the world. If you like this meditation, please like and subscribe and check out any of my other content.